Hi all, welcome to today's video. So, before we dive into the technology of AI, we need to talk about what is right and what is wrong. Okay, so imagine you are a teacher and you have hundreds of students. Okay, like for example, when there is an examination conducted for writing essay and you have to evaluate it, so you are finding it difficult. So one suggestion is can you use an AI tool. So will you go ahead and use the tool to evaluate the student's essay? And the second scenario is there is a fast food restaurant and there is a server who is serving it. Okay, a burger has fell down on the floor. Will you take that burger and serve again? So will you do that? Yes or no? So all these are not just right if you just say yes. It depends on all the situation, right? In these scenarios, there isn't always a single right answer. This brings us to our first major topic, the difference between moral and ethics, which we are going to see in today's topic. So what is moral and what is ethics? So these are the beliefs and values which are dictated by the society, culture and tradition. So moral, when we say, they are not fixed and can vary between different countries, societies and religion. For example, when someone asks, will you always speak the truth and always be loyal? So they always say that be truth in all situation, be loyal. So that is what we call it as moral. And when we come to ethics, these are the guidelines, okay, and principles a person chooses to follow. Okay, he or she decides whether it is really good or bad for them. So ethic often involves questioning the moral values in specific contexts, such as, is it right thing to speak the truth even if threatens someone's life? So like that, it depends on a people to people, person to person. So that we call it as ethics. And then we come to the ethics and personal data. Okay, and what are all the major issues we are facing? So for example, when we are trying to deploy a model, and when how that model will be useful to the people. Okay, so like these are some problems which we are currently facing, which can be reduced. Okay, which can be reduced so that it gives us more accurate results. Okay, so how these AI models influence our decisions, so that is what we are going to. So this, I would say it as a major issue, and it can be also due to faulty data. Okay, so for example, if there are 5.34 billion people all over the world using the mobile phones, all our personal data is available on the internet. Okay, so what big companies do, they make use of this type of data, and they provide us customized recommendations. Okay, so for example, if you take Netflix, when we ask them when we try to search about any movie, they take that as an input, and they provide the required suggestions. Okay, recommendations similar to this they will provide. So organizations use AI to analyze personal data to provide tailored recommendations for songs, videos and products. Okay, and influencing decisions, how can they influence our decisions? Okay, that is what the future of decision making. Okay, so it depends on AI, it is going to influence our decision making also. That is what they are telling, because AI can find specific data related to a person. It can be you, me, anyone. Okay, and it has the power to influence the individual decision making at times. Not every time, at times it might have the power to influence our decision making process also. And when you see, since our data is largely available on the internet, okay, and how the government is accessing it, and is it a correct source? So that is what the third point is. So government access, these sources pose an ethical question whether it is correct or not for the government to use personal data of the citizens. Okay, and then I would say, like I was asking one question, correct? So I'll move to the next slide. So there is a student. Okay, so you are a teacher and you are teaching, and there are like 100 students in your class, and you have to evaluate the essay. So for example, just think of the scenario. Okay, and in this case, Ron, just imagine this person. Okay, he has written one essay, and that is a very very good essay. Okay, but what happens? They have fixed an AI tool to evaluate. Okay, and he is from a seventh grade. Okay, he is from seventh grade, and they have, since the teacher has fixed an AI tool to evaluate his performance, the AI has given him a bad grade. Okay, so Ron has received a bad grade on a high quality essay tool. Okay, why this happens? Why really this is happening? Because the cause is AI is evaluated, the AI model which they have created, right? It is evaluated his work incorrectly. Okay, because it was trained on faulty or biased data. Okay, that is how how we say it is biased means specifically training the data came from university students. So the model was trained, the training data which was given, right? So it was from the university students. So just he is just 7th standard, right? So in different country and making it an inappropriate model for a middle school student. So that is how we say that this type of AI model is biased. That is why it has given negative results for Ron, because he is from a 7th grade. So like that, our model should not be biased. Okay, it should evaluate the essay in whichever level of grade it is. For broader example, I would say, like, the sources also note that AI can display unfair behavior in other areas. Okay, so this is a widely known thing which we know, right? Such as a recruiting tool. So for example, think of a recruiting tool that teaches itself and to prefer male candidates over female candidates. Okay, for, as a personal secretary. So for example, okay, our search results for personal secretary that predominantly shows the images of the woman. Okay, that is what I tried searching in the Google. So for example, we have this mindset, right? When we say teacher, it has to be a woman, and when we say doctor, it has to be a man. So like that, similarly, AI model should not teach itself. So when they are recruiting for any personal assistant, it should not go ahead and reject all the male applicants and the other way around. Okay, so it should not be biased and it should not be discriminative. So we should be aware of the AI principles. So in next video, we'll talk about what are all the AI principles we have to follow while deploying an AI model.